Hi, I'm Larry Magid, CEO of ConnectSafely. I'm with Joe Laramie, a nationally known speaker on the topic of online child exploitation, technology safety, cyberbullying, and human trafficking. Joe, we're hearing a lot about sextortion. Can you talk about what it is and why it's so dangerous?
Well, sextortion is when an offender has access to some explicit content that you've either created for them or they've stolen from you. And then they're either going to ask you for more explicit content, naked pictures or videos, or they're going to ask you for money because if you don't send more pictures, if that's what their choice is, or money, they're going to share your explicit content with your family and friends through your social media network.
And who's most vulnerable to this?
Well, for the crime of sextortion that is sexually motivated, our teen girls are most susceptible to it. And the crime for financially motivated sextortion, our teen boys are most susceptible to it.
So is it a situation in the case of boys where maybe someone who they think is a teenage girl offers to send them a photograph of her in exchange for a photograph of him, but of course it may not be a teenager or a female, and the person might be anywhere in the world. Is that sort of how this works?
That is typically how it's happening. And the way it's happening is that there are these, in the financial sextortion world anyway, there are crime syndicates. And what they're doing is that they're taking images and videos that they've gathered from the internet of young girls, and they're portraying themselves as this person. They're putting their own name, various names to it, but they're portraying themselves as a young girl, reaching out to young boys and asking them to be connected with them. Once they get connected, then the manipulation begins. And the manipulation will be, I want to be your friend. I'm going to send you naked pictures of me. And once that happens, then they're going to say, hey, I've done this for you. Now will you do it for me? And the boy follows through because they are enticed and manipulated by these professional scammers. And then as soon as they send their naked picture or video to the scammers, then the ask for the money begins. And prior to the scam ask for money, the scammers are going to have captured the friends list, whether it's on Instagram or Snapchat or Facebook or maybe Google Hangouts or any of the other platforms that are out there. But they're going to capture their friends list, and they're going to have a screen capture of that, and they'll be able to send back to the victim that information asking for money. And if you don't send me the money, here's your friends list, and these are all the people that I'm going to send your naked pictures to. But the bottom line is they don't care about the images. They don't care about you. Once you send them money, they're going to keep asking for more and more and more.
Well,
And
if you are targeted and if you are contacted and somebody says, I've got an image of you, should you send the money? Will that make them go away? I mean, how should you handle it?
you should not send the money. If someone targets you, the first thing you should do is you should block them, report them to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children Cyber Tip Line, report them to your local law enforcement office, report them to the FBI, report them to Homeland Security investigations, but report them to a law enforcement entity, and then do not delete all of the content. One of the problems I think that we've had is that we've spent a lot of time telling kids telling kids that if you send a naked picture of yourself and you're under 18, that's illegal content and you could go to jail for that. Now, typically we're not sending children to jail for sending a naked picture. That just doesn't happen.
Right.
But they hear that message that it's illegal. So then they're afraid, oh my goodness, I've done this, so I'm going to delete everything. And the idea is we don't want them to delete it. We want them to save that content for the law enforcement investigation to be able to help them. But the reporting part is the most important part. And then the help part, because there's all sorts of resources that are available to help a victim of sextortion. The most important thing that they can do is to go to their parents.
Are there any telltale signs? I mean, if your kid doesn't come to you, is there any way you can kind of, know that perhaps this is happening, or should we be routinely talking to our kids and asking them about it? How can parents intervene if the child doesn't come directly to them?
Well, that is one of the concerns. There was a recent situation where a young man um, committed suicide over this issue, and the mother said that she had just been out with him in that afternoon, and they were that everything seemed normal, and he
Mm-hmm.
was holding it in inside and was trying to manage and deal with this. And kids just aren't capable of managing and dealing with it. But it was another one of those examples of a parent who who spent a time talking to their kids about technology safety and said, "Don't do this and don't do this and don't do this," instead of "What if you do this?" And so we are asking parents to talk to their kids, explain to them what this scam is, tell their kids about the scam so that the kids know that this is happening, but also start with, please don't do this, but then don't stop there. Continue on and finish up with, if you do happen to get caught up in this scam, please come to me, no matter what time of day or night. You can wake me up. There is nothing that we can't get through together. We will work through this. It will be okay. But you have to please come to me and let me know that this is happening.
Obviously, nobody wants to be a victim, and it is sad and it is scary. But the reality is that there are victims who have come through this, who have emerged, who are healthy, who've not done any self harm. And you really just need to get through that initial period and get the help you need. And I think most people can survive. We don't wish it on anyone, but
Right.
it's something that people can get through, as you say.
Absolutely.
Joe Laramie, that's all we have time for. Thank you very much. I appreciate your taking the time.
Thank you, Larry. Take care.